is let's start with home builder confidence. So the projections were it was going to fall. I mean, look at the state of the housing market. You got skyrocketing mortgage rates. You have not a lot of inventory. A lot of people getting priced out because of the mortgage rates, and people not sure what's going to happen with the economy. Not a great situation when it comes to buyers. And so if home builders are concerned that the buyers are not going to be there, they're not going to feel very confident. Okay. And I kind of feel bad for builders because, I mean, even when things were booming, they were dealing with supply chain issues. And so, home builder confidence has been falling for quite some time. And the projection was it was going to fall for the 10th straight month. That would be October. So if you do the math, very basic math there, October is the 10th month of the year. That's every month this year. Home builder confidence has fallen. And it fell. Yeah, it did. It 100%. It fell. And it actually fell kind of a lot more than expected. So home builder confidence month over month, according to the National Association of Home Builders Wells Fargo Housing Market Index. Whew, man, this is the October report. It fell 8 points to 38. So it was 46 in September. It has now fallen to 38. And it was only supposed to fall 2 points. So it was supposed to fall to 44. And it fell to 38. Home builder confidence is now down 42 points from just 1 year ago. And once again, do some basic math. That's more than half. So, yeah, not the best report with regards to the housing market. And not surprisingly, all three components that make up the index were down. Current sales conditions continues to hold the top spot. They were at 45 despite a 9-point drop. Sales expectations for the next 6 months declined 11 points to 35. And then bringing up the rear, traffic of prospective buyers fell 6 points to 25. I actually had to double check that. I'm like, 25? Yes. 25. That is the number. So, and I mean, here's how bad this report was. As you know, because you listen to this show, the South has always been, like every report that comes out, like even if it's horrific, the silver lining is always the South. Like the South is has been generating the optimism, the silver lining, the whatever you want to call it, for like the last couple of months when these reports have really kind of turned. Well, even in this report, the South couldn't save it. The South region couldn't even stay in positive territory thanks to the big drop in October. The South is now at 49 after a 7-point drop. Remember, 50 is kind of that break-even point. So now the South is even in negative territory. Even the South can't prop it up. But here's what's amazing. The Northeast is now a close second. They only fell 3 points. They're now at 48. The Northeast, which has been just dismal in a lot of other reports, when it comes to builder confidence, is 1 point behind the South. That kind of surprised me. The Midwest fell 3 points. They're at 41. And then the West, despite all Gavin Newsom is doing to try and encourage building, it's maybe not enough because the West fell 7 points. They are now at 34. These numbers are just, I mean, it's so crazy that like a year ago, or a little bit less than a year ago, I think like heading into 2022, the end of 21, home builder confidence was in the 90s. They had never seen that before. It was crazy. And then the supply chains hit. And so even though the housing market was on fire, home builder confidence was falling because of supply chain issues. And then obviously mortgage rates and then the economy. And well, here we are. Now we're at 38. Robert Dietz, chief economist at the National Association of Home Builders, said that builder confidence will decline. Builder confidence will decline for the first time in 11 years. That's looking at the beginning of a new year. I'll get to his quote saying, quote, "This will be the first year since 2011 to see a decline for single family starts. And given expectations for ongoing elevated interest rates due to actions by the Federal Reserve, 2023 is forecasted to see additional single-family building declines as the housing contraction continues. While some analysts have suggested that housing market is now more balanced, the truth is that homeownership rate will decline in the quarters ahead as higher interest rates and ongoing elevated construction costs continue to price out a large number of prospective buyers. I would say that Robert Dietz is not at all confident. It was like, was the Homebuilder confidence survey like Robert Dietz confidence survey? Man, that is not a great quote. I will say he is not at all confident in the housing market moving forward. Now, what he's pointing out is that, people are being priced out. And that's really kind of the bottom line, is that, with rates close to 7, depending on what day it is, maybe over 7, builders just aren't confident the buyers are out there. I mean, the demand is there with regards to the desire, I should say. The desire for home ownership is still there. Can they afford it? And that's what builders care about. It's like, yeah, people want to buy a house, but can they buy a house? And with rates moving at the level that they have, yeah, it's causing problems with affordability, unfortunately. And so builders are not at all feeling, and it's kind of like this, it's this horrible sort of self-fulfilling prophecy where builders are like, oh, well, people won't be able to afford these homes, so they don't build. And because they're not building, the supply, for the most part diminishes because our population is growing. And that means that if you have a population growing, demand is growing, but the supply is staying constant, that actually means prices are going to go up. Now, not in right now, obviously, because you don't have as many buyers that are out there, but once rates sort of normalize and people can start buying again and they feel confident buying, builders are now going to be behind the 8 ball. They're going to have to start bidding. This is how we always end up in this situation. It's kind of the unfortunate reality that we've been dealing with for decades as the housing market continues to be underbuilt. And it's why Gavin Newsom in California is doing everything he can to try and get builders to build, realizing the supply is the problem. And now even New York City, we talked about this on Monday, New York City is now saying, hey, developers, how you guys doing? Remember us? We love you guys. Please build more units. So not a great time for home builders. Even the South, the beacon of hope in so many of these housing reports, the South, turned to the dark side in this latest home builder confidence report.